Hello and welcome to another episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. Garalith is saying hello as well. This is Beriathan of the Citadel Guard of Gondor, and today we will venture into Lhingris. We gotta look for Atli Spider-bane for the Black Book of Mordor, but we also need to find Legolas as well. So that's where we're headed. What will we find there? I wonder. I'm not sure, but we'll figure it out soon enough. Okay, here we are at Lhingris. So that's our first look into this new area. And of course, there would be giant spiders everywhere. Atli is supposed to be somewhere around here, and Legolas is on the opposite side. You did Spider's Lair of Lhingris. Yeah, I know. Here's Atli. Atli calls for you to halt and smells the air.
Ah, do you smell that? That is the reek of spider you smell.
Every one of the creatures has a different and distinctive odor, and they are all most foul. When you have fought the terrors for as long as I have, you'll learn to identify such things. We will handle my business first, and then continue on to yours. Let us slay spiders, as many as we can. Then we will find this tower you seek. Cirith Ungol, did you say? We will go there when we have left a trail of dead spiders behind us, and when we come back this way, we can tread upon them like a carpet. Treasure cache, yeah. Got a feeling. And just like that, these treasure caches in Lhingris are easier than the ones in Doramarth. Another 12 in here. Well, that's the first one. I truly have no idea where the caches in Doramarth are supposed to be. And what is this? Is this another way into Urun? It is. Oh, I had no idea you could do this. No idea at all. I mean, is this an area of Urun that you can normally reach? Because it doesn't seem to be. Yeah. No, I don't think you can get here. Up here. From Udun. Or can you? No, doesn't seem to be. Doesn't seem to be the case. I mean, you can get to Lhingris from Udun if you cross Durthang. But I was just wondering if there was a third way. Another way of coming to Lhingris from Udun without going to Durthang. There doesn't seem to be. But this is truly the first time I explored this area of the map. I have no memory of this place, well, this particular passage. Well, we need to defeat spiders. That's already established. So now we can look for Legolas. Hey, you want a piece of me? Okay, come and get me. On Legolas. Ah, it's right here. You have found Legolas amid the ruined encampment.
So this is where our adventures have led us.
I am glad you have come, Beriathan. It is the work of Ungwetari herself or that of her terrible children. The spiders of Lhingris are born of some terrible evil. You did! Quests of Lhingris! Awesome. We'll check that in just a moment.
Like the look of this place, my friend.
This bodes ill, Beriathan. We have barely stepped into the lands of Lhingris, and no sooner have we found the vile webs of Ungwetari's children. Indeed, I am reminded of the darkest days of Mirkwood. Legolas looks at the fallen orcs. If the spiders no longer fear the orcs, I doubt they shall remain in the shadows of Lhingris much longer. Their prey is plentiful and no longer guarded by the might of the Dark Lord. I cannot discern whence these orcs came, for their armor is ruined and wreathed in webs, but to know it may help us learn how to find our way to Lhingris. I shall work to free these from their webs and uncover their heraldry, but would you examine the slain orcs on the road? Perhaps some have met with a less gruesome fate. I mean, are we supposed... how do we know this is an orc camp? I mean, there are not that many options left if it's not an orc camp, but I'd still not sure. Well, Legolas is a better tracker than we are, so we're not gonna question him anymore. This orc has been webbed and devoured by the spiders of Lhingris. And we gotta keep looking for more dead orcs. Ah, okay, here's another one. And yet another one. This orc was slain by arrows and a shield of voodoo rests beside him. We gotta go back to Legolas, but first, look at what we have here. You found a torn page of a tome, sticky and covered in webs from Shelob's brood. Perhaps you can find other pages around Lhingris and complete the story. How many pages? Oh my god, a lot of pages.
Sauron the Great has granted me his blessing. I am Gurziol. By his blade, I now take the name Rukor the Pale Herald.
Oh, Rukor. This will be interesting. Oh, really? Talk to Atlas Spider-bane at the approach of Cirith Ungol. So that basically means do everything in Lhingris. I mean, almost half of the place before advancing the Black Book. Not that I am complaining. We can focus on the task at hand for the time being, on helping Legolas.
The spiders of this land gnaw the earth itself.
It seems that the orcs have begun to fight amongst themselves, but I wonder why orcs of Udun and of Durthanc would flee into this land. To flee into a land beset by hungering foes with allegiance to none. It is unwise, to say the least.
The spiders of this land gnaw the earth itself.
This is traveling, Beriathan. What could have driven some of the orcs from Durthanc? If it were merely the spiders of Lhingris, Ugruk would have sealed the gate and thought no more of it. No, it had to be something unexpected. But what? Beriathan, patrol the road to the gate of Durthanc and learn what you can of what has happened. I think there is more to this than it seems. Go swiftly. I shall keep watch on the road. Perfect. Now, here we have Quest of Lhingris. How many? Oh, 47. The quest deeds keep getting bigger and bigger. And this is kind of weird about Lhingris. Well, not sure if weird, but as you can see here, there are no settlements in Lhingris. There are 2 milestones and that is good enough, otherwise traversing this would be way more difficult. So you would expect at first that an area as inhabited as this one won't have that many quests. So it seems the quest designing here will be... I would be expecting a lot of landscape quests and a lot of tightly packed areas in order to meet that 47 quests quota for the deed. Alright. Entrance to Durthanc from Lhingris. And there's also a lot of pages in this place. Looks promising. As you feared, many spiders have come to the gates of Durthanc in Lhingris. If they are able to breach the fortress, it is likely their numbers shall spill forth into Udun and threaten the forces of the Free Peoples in Mordor. You should defeat as many spiders as you can. It's very fortunate that these small spiders also count for the quest and the deed. That makes things so much easier. As you explore the gate of Durthanc in Lhingris, you notice that the inhabitants of Durthanc have begun to burn their dead as a means to repel the attacking spiders. You should burn the slain orcs near Durthanc and repel the spiders that have come to the northern reaches of Lhingris. Sure, how many orcs? 8, okay. You have discovered the terrible aftermath of a battle between the warriors of Durthanc and the spiders of Lhingris. Yeah, take a look at that. Web covered page, yeah. Was expecting as much. Would you mind?
Indeed, woe be the day when Shelob's hunger grows too great. For when at last she comes before Lord Sauron, he shall destroy her utterly.
Okay. Yeah, these things are huge. Of course, we've grown used to huge spiders in LOTRO, but still. This is one of the bigger ones. Come to gloat, have you? Well, you won't have long. Durukop's heart and dark blood runs from his mouth. No, not long at all. The little sneak, the silent one, he betrayed us. We were holding against the spiders until he showed up, and some help he was. The silent one killed my orcs with his arrows and took some of them before the spiders got to them. Maybe the little rat is bringing them to Shelob, or maybe he's eating them himself. I won't beg, but if you find him, kill him. If he finds you, well... Now shove off and let me die in peace. Yeah, what a way of asking for help. Really kind. Now, this is the door back to Durthank. I'm just making sure there are no pages around this area. Now, you should have also seen this sort of rocks before. In some of these watching stones. I don't remember if that will come later in the Black Book of Mordor, or if that is an Allegiance quest. I have no idea. But we'll come to that at some point. You have defeated many of the spiders setting siege to Durthank in Lhingris and prevented them from spilling forth in Udun. You have burnt many of the slain orcs at the gates of Durthank in Lhingris. The glow of the flames did well to repel some of the spiders of Lhingris, but it is likely that once the fires die out, the spiders will return in force. Follow the trail of orcish blood. Okay. This one. Dark drops of orcish blood lead away from Durthank. Alright, let us continue looking. Oh, come on. Let us continue looking. Ah, these freaking crawlers. An artifact chest in here, okay. Not much, but I wasn't expecting to find an artifact chest in here, so that's a win. Now, I seem to remember there should be a treasure cache somewhere around this area, but I don't remember exactly where. What's this? Oh. You stupid crawler. What is this? Many slain orcs have been laid at the foot of a massive cluster of spider eggs. And he has fled. Alright, we gotta go back to Legolas. Let us see how the worsted handles on this place. We would have been dismounted already if it weren't for this sacrifice toggle. Come on. There we go.
The jagged peaks of Lhingris are steeped in fear and evil.
An orc has slain his own kin to offer tribute to the spiders of Lhingris. These are very strange tidings, my friend, and the Uruk used the name Shelob. It seems Ungwetari is known by that name to the orcs. As for the Silent One, I wonder how he gained such a curious title. Such a name would be well earned of a skilled archer or huntsman. But these are orcs we speak of. Perhaps his tongue was cut from his mouth for some trifle. If he truly does mean to serve the spiders of Lhingris, perhaps he can lead us to the lair of this Shelob. There is little time to consider such things here, my friend.
The jagged peaks of Lhingris are steeped in fear and evil.
As I feared, my father spoke true of Ungwetari's children. If her spiders come now to the gates of Durthanc, they fear no counter-strike from Ugrukor or any others of the Gurshuil. Even the deceptions of the enemy could not sway them into his service, and now that Sauron has fallen, nothing remains to restrain them from hunting their prey. I think it unwise to remain still in Lhingris over long, and so I believe we should travel into Rathkyle and seek shelter amongst the Morgai. When you are ready, we will depart. Oh yeah, take me there, Legolas. Awesome. Needed spider haunts and web rifts. Okay. One of the explorer deeds in Lhingris, but here we are. That's awesome.
I cannot help but recall the darkness of Mirkwood here.
This will do. I suppose it is no worse than anywhere else in the hills of the Efelduath. Legolas peers into the distance, silently observing Rathkyle. This vale is swarming with foes, but I fear we must pass through it.
So this is where our adventures have led us.
Be still, Beriathan. Down in the vale, I see a few gatherings of orcs positioned beside the road. Trackers of some kind, I believe. We shall have to move more carefully from here onward. What do they search for, I wonder? They must realize it is too late to secure the enemy's ring. But it seems they are more interested in talking than keeping to their posts. I see gatherings of orcs by what I believe to be a watchtower, by an orc hold of some sort, and another gathering of them beside the road in the vale. Will you eavesdrop on them, my friend? We might learn more of what has happened in Lhingris since the enemy's downfall. I shall keep watch here and stop any other orcs from approaching you. Yeah, sure, why not? As much as I enjoy this swift travel quests, the fact that there are two different roads now to the south makes me feel I should be checking some of them just to make sure we have not missed any other pages, especially considering there are so many of them. But that seems to be it. Let us say that was it. Let us continue then. What do I have here? Rothbach Slayer of Lhingris? Alright. As you explore Rathkyle, you have encountered a number of ravening carrion flies. Unlike the more docile ones you have encountered near the fated pools of Lhingris, these are seemingly content to prey on the living as well as the dead. You should defeat many of the ravening carrion flies and may clear the way through Rathkyle. The ravening ones then. So you mean this one? Did you see the orcs we're supposed to be eavesdropping on? Because I don't. Wait. I truly don't see it. Oh, jeez. Breaking Grothbog. Okay. Here we have the first group of trackers. You can hear the hushed voices of the orc trackers. You should listen closely. Alright. The tower's got us looking for an elf warrior, but Lukbar's found something interesting. Some queer little pots, they said. Maybe they belong to the one Shagrat let out. Is that it? Okay. You have defeated many ravening carrion flies in Rathkyle and made clear the way for Legolas to continue his search for Ungwetari unhindered. Here, what do we have? Agility, Vitality, Parry, Light of Arendil. Yeah, well, it's basically the same one that we have, but with slightly better stats. So yes, why not? And here, what do we have here? Agility, Vitality, Physical Mastery, Finesse. Okay. Gonna take this one here. Alright. Let us continue. Stop it. Stop it with that. Okay, I think I see the other orcs. Yeah. Yeah? That it? You can hear the hushed voices of the orc trackers. You should listen closely. The silent one's gone missing, and I don't like it. Little Sneak was at Kála-murg until a few days ago, but he's gone now. That all you have to say? Okay, here we have the other orcs. What now? As if Lhingris couldn't get any worse, Lhingris says Kala-murg is a real mess. They got some disease in the orc hold that eats them from the inside out. Uruk-hai, an orc slayer of Lhingris. Yeah, I thought as much. 100 of those, 100 of this other one too. Okay, now this is the way towards Doramarth from the other path. The one that we explored earlier. We're not going there, but needed strongholds of the Eiffel Duat, Lhingris. Okay. Yeah, I got a feeling we will fight the orcs in here shortly, but before I forget, yeah. This one.
After returning to Beriathan, Lord Sauron considered destroying her, but he soon realized she loved her viciousness and still so.
Alright, now we can go back to Legolas. Let us use the milestone then.
The spiders of this land gnaw the earth itself.
Ha! An elf warrior! I think the orcs may have misjudged Master Samwise. Although from the sound of it, the orcs of Lhingris may have found some of our friends' belongings left behind from when they passed through Mordor. It is curious that the orcs of this Kala-murg are unaware of the Silent One's treachery. They think him missing. I suppose they cannot spare much thought for him while a strange disease is spreading through the orc hold. The disease must be a potent one.
I cannot help but recall the darkness of Mirkwood here.
Beriathan, what did you hear of Kála-murg? You tell Legolas about the disease ravaging Kála-murg and the orc tracker Glooprong that was mentioned by the orcs. This Glooprong must lead the orc trackers in their search for the elf warrior. It is likely he knows many of the hidden paths of Lhingris, and his knowledge may be useful in our search. Travel to Kála-murg and seek the orc Glooprong. If he bears any orders, take them and we shall see what can be learned from them. Be careful, Beriathan. We know little of the disease that has taken the orcs. Ah, you have another one, sure.
The jagged peaks of Lhingris are steeped in fear and evil.
So the orcs at Lhingris have found a queer set of pots. I wonder if these aren't the very pots that Master Samwise carried with him. If the orcs of Lhingris have truly found Frodo and Sam's belongings, we would do well to reclaim them. Beriathan, travel to Lhingris and see what the orcs have found. I was just there, you know? That would have been the perfect time for an landscape quest, an auto-bestowed quest. But in order for that to work, Beriathan should have known who is the elf warrior the orcs are talking to, and I think he doesn't know that. Well, it's just a short hike back to where we were anyway. Oh, jeez. Yeah, these guys are so annoying, those crawlers. Everything else, I mean, the awful part of these crawlers is they engage you in combat, so that means we drop forced march, only to go out of combat immediately after. Doesn't do anything other than have us drop out of forced march. Anything at all. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish with that. Oh! While searching Lhingris for the evidence the Road Watcher spoke of, you have discovered that Lhingris guards have passed from the battlement of Mag-Ashtu in Dor-Amarth. If the Free Peoples intend to stitch a large incursion into Lhingris in the coming days, the way must be made clear. That was fast. You have defeated many of the orcs at Lhingris and made clear the road to Mag-Ashtu in Dor-Amarth. This tattered black cloak is covered in briars. A treasure cache! Cool! These appear to be Samwise Gamgee's damaged cookpots. Hoy, those aren't meant for you! Gotta bring those to Legolas, but first... Black Adamant Shard! Alright, I don't know if we will have any use for that one. I have not checked yet the Doomfold crafting tier, so I don't know how useful are these shards for us right now. But hey, getting a shard is still something noteworthy, if anything, due to the low drop rates they have. Especially considering that starting, I think, on the Anorian tier, you cannot barter for the shards in the skirmish camp. So even if they don't have a lot of usefulness, the fact that the only way of getting them is getting lucky, exploring, means that someone out there might be willing to pay a little for it. Alright, so here we are at Kála-murg. Discovered Kála-murg. I cannot see. My damned eyes have gone. Is that you, Glooprong? The orc sniffs frantically at the air around him. Hey, you don't have his scent. Halloween, and there's no way out of that. I'll be like the Savar High soon, and I don't want that. No orc should want that. All Shelobs let her children crawl around within us and feast on our insides. Some live, some don't. But all of them are carrying around who knows what in their guts. I think the dead ones are lucky if you ask me. You're probably pretty fond of orc slaying, stranger, so if you see any like me, make sure you do them in. The orc spits bigly in your direction and then draws a knife and stabs his own throat. Gee. Wow. Talk about something brutal. While exploring Kala-murg, you have discovered disgusting rations kept in crates by the orcs. The crates ooze with maggots and what seems to be spider venom or blood. Even by orcish standards, this seems an undesirable meal. You should burn crates of rations and ensure that they are not the cause of the Halloween. There's also a cluster of spider eggs. Okay. Within the shadowed corners of Kála-murg, you have discovered clusters of spider eggs that twitch and ooze with a new brood of spiders. The orcs of Kála-murg appear to have destroyed every egg they found, but these have gone unnoticed or were laid more recently. You should destroy the remaining clusters of eggs in the hope that it will prevent more of the orcs from Halloween and becoming more dangerous foes.
Indeed, through his wisdom, she became the guardian of the western pass into Mordor. In return, he sent her his prisoners and lesser orcs to feast on.
There we go. Another Halloween orc in here. Okay, gotta keep looking. That's it for the Halloween orcs. Although the orcs remain foes of the free peoples of Middle-earth, you have shown great mercy in sparing the orcs of Kála-murg a vile fate. We'll see how useful that is, I guess. We'll find out soon enough. More spider clusters. Yeah. Utrecht Savarhai. Gee. Is that a new deed? Savarhai in Lhingris. Oh. Well, just 60 of them. That's not as bad. Maybe that's not a difficult task. Yeah, take a look how these guys look. You have done well to destroy many clusters of spider eggs in Kala-murg, preventing the remaining orcs from succumbing to the Halloween and becoming even more dangerous. Ah, okay, so this is really close to the place where we fought the Silent One. Not exactly the same place, but relatively close. Alright. Now I just gotta find a couple more of these crates of rations. Okay, here is one. There's another one. Come here. Oh, okay, I see them. All right, one more ration. Where is that one? Is it inside? Because it seems to be inside this cave. We also need to find Glupro. Oh, come on. Well, let us hope he is here. The rations and Glupro. Ah, yeah. There they are. You have burned many of the crates of these tasteful rations in Kala-murg. Although it remains unclear if those rations led to the Halloween of the Orcs of Kala-murg, it seemed a good course. Alright. We can reforge. Let us do that really quick. All right. Vial covered bow. Oh. But let us first. Yeah, picture of this unhealthy place. On the spider blight, of course. A gruesome figure shambles out of the shadows. Jeez. Ah, come on. You pull a damp missive of Glupro. Alright. I was too busy taking the screenshot, god. I maybe shouldn't have done that. The missive warns of an elf warrior that slew the garrison of Cirith Ungol and stuck Shelob. You're going to find the elf warrior or the high up is going to hear about it. No excuses this time. Roglarg claims the last garrison tore itself apart over a trinket, but I don't believe it. Nothing's worth that much. Even if Roglarg was telling the truth, the elf warrior stuck a pin into Shelob and we haven't seen her ladyship since. We cannot allow the Hollow to impede the search. Kill them and burn what's left of your stores, and then send your trackers to hunt Sulokil in Doramarth. Nurn's not sending more for a week, so sort it out. One last thing. If the Silent One passes through Kála-murg, send him back to Cirith Ungol. I have need of his skills. Captain Roglarg. So we gotta bring the missive to Legolas. Where are you, Legolas? Oh, okay, there you are.
What little light remains here is smothered by webs.
Legolas chuckles at your approach. I am sorry, Beriathan, but I didn't expect them to find so many of Master Samwise's spots. What a find! We shall have to return them to Sam when we depart from Mordor.
What little light remains here is smothered by webs.
What had you found, Beriathan? You had Legolas the missive from Cirith Ungol. Are you certain the Orcs have confused Master Samwise with the elf warrior? This Captain Roglarg seems to think Sam slew an entire garrison of Orcs by himself. Master Samwise is a loyal and brave hobbit, but he is not a practiced warrior. Stranger still, Captain Roglarg speaks of the elf warrior sticking a pin in Shelob. A mere blade could not wound such an ancient creature, not on its own. If only Sam had told us of his encounter with Shelob. There can no longer be any doubt. Ungwethari still dwells in the Evelduath, but she now tends her wound in the shadowed caverns of the mountains.
The spiders of this land gnaw the earth itself.
Beriathan, while you were gone, I espied an orc with a similar stature and bearing to your description of the Silent One. The Silent One must have met some foe on the road, where his arm was wounded. He left behind him a sparse trail of blood as he fled deeper into Rathkyle. I do not believe he thought himself watched by any other than the orcs and creatures of Lhingris, so the advantage is ours. You said he had piled the bodies of his kin as an offering to the spiders? If he has some arrangement with Shelob or her children, he could be a very useful orc. Let us follow his orcish blood and see if it leads us to him. Alright, yeah. We'll keep tracking the Silent One on the next episode. For the time being though, this has been all on today's episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. So thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, my friends, stay safe, take care, good luck to you all, and I will see you later.